Today, we're going to start an incredible journey through Oceania. We are going to visit all of its countries, and we'll learn the capitals, flags, and most beautiful places of the continent. And we're also going to explore fundamental information about its history, geography, demographics, and economy. So, from Australia to Samoa, and from Micronesia down to New Zealand, welcome to the countries of Oceania. Oceania is the smallest, least populated, and least densely populated continent in the world. In fact, its labeling as a continent itself is a little bit unclear. Instead of being made up of a singular large landmass, it's actually comprised of thousands of islands, although most of them are tiny in size. It contains only a little bit less than 6% of the total land area and less than 1% of the global human population on the Earth. However, for many years, these islands have been grouped together to be considered a continent, so we're working with that labeling of Oceania in this video. Oceania consists of only 14 countries, although many of its islands are under the control of other nations because, surprisingly, there's still many territorias in Oceania awaiting decolonization. And while it is one of the smallest and least populated continents, that doesn't stop it from having its own natural wonders and rich cultures. So, let's go ahead and dive into the countries of this amazing continent. We'll go ahead and go about this by looking at its countries from west to east. Although many people believe that Australia's capital is Sydney, the actual capital is Canberra. English is the most spoken language, but dozens of native languages are found throughout the country. Australia is the largest and most populated country in Oceania, and it does a lot of heavy lifting in terms of numbers. For example, it comprises 89% of Oceanian land area and 60% of the continent's human population. In fact, Australia is so big that it's actually the 6th largest country on Earth. Australia is one of those enormous countries that is completely fascinating, with awesome geographic and biological diversity. Its landscapes vary from vast deserts in the center to dense forests in the southeast, and is home to many unique species such as the kangaroo and the koala. Additionally, it boasts impressive places like the gigantic Uluru Rock, the Sydney Opera House, or the Great Barrier Reef. The Barrier Reef is a delicate underwater ecosystem that is slowly dying due to increasing CO2 emissions that raise the temperature of the atmosphere as well as the ocean, leading to coral bleaching and destruction of the ecosystem. This should create a great sense of urgency for dealing with climate change. New Zealand has its capital in the city of Wellington. English and Maori are the official languages. This country, known for its stunning landscapes, was famously the filming location of the Lord of the Rings movies. The Mount Doom scenes were filmed at the Nauruhoi volcano, the southern Alps portrayed in the Misty Mountains, and the village of Matamata served as the setting for the Shire. Truly a breathtaking yet remote place in the world. Papua New Guinea has its capital in Port Moresby. English, Tok Pisin, and Hirimotu are the 3 official languages, but there exist more than 800 languages, making it the most linguistically diverse country in the world. This nation occupies only the eastern half of the island of New Guinea, as the other half is controlled by Indonesia. On this island, you can find the archaeological remains of the Cook Swamp, where agriculture was independently invented around 7,000 years ago, without contact with other regions of the world. The native people developed the cultivation of taro, bananas, and sugar. This evidence indicates that agriculture did not have a single origin from which it spread throughout the world, but was rather independently developed in different regions of the planet and then expanded from there, which speaks to the tenacity and ingenuity of human beings. Additionally, on a geographic note, the second highest peak in Oceania, Mount Wilhelm, is found in this country. Indonesia, with its capital in Jakarta, is primarily located in Asia, but some of its islands belong to Oceania. Their official language is Indonesian. The country owns the western half of the island of New Guinea, as we just mentioned, where the majestic Mount Jayawijaya rises, reaching an elevation of 4,884 meters, making it the highest peak in Oceania. Now let's move on to Palau, whose capital is in Negurulmut. Here they mainly speak Palauan and English. Palau is composed of a large number of very small islands. Some of them are volcanic in origin, while others are small rocky islets, with lush vegetation and reefs that host a vibrant variety of marine life. Micronesia has its capital in Palikir. They mainly speak English. Micronesia consists of more than 600 small islands. On one of these islands, the Yap, native people of the island, use the world's largest coins, known as the Rai stones. These are enormous stone discs that were used as a form of currency or as symbols of prestige. Some of these stones were so large that they remained in place and changed ownership without being physically moved, and instead, everyone was simply informed about their new owner. Talk about big bucks, huh? Additionally, near the island of Pohnpei, you can find the ruins of Nan Madol, an ancient ceremonial city built with basaltic pillars of volcanic origin that were extracted and used as if they were logs. The next country is Lycaonesia, and its capital is Subscribe. Okay, you got me, alright? This country isn't actually real, but I just wanted to remind you of how important it is to click on the notification bell, and subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the video. A small action like this is crucial to helping the channel grow, so if you do, thank you so much. What we actually have next are the Marshall Islands, which have their capital in Majuro. They speak primarily Marshallese and English. And the main reason why English is a prominent language here is that these islands were under control of the United States up until about the year 1990. During the Cold War, numerous nuclear tests were conducted in the Bikini Atoll. In fact, the name of the swimwear, the bikini, was given not because of the association with the beaches, but rather the explosive effect of the garment. Nauru has its capital in Yaren. They speak Nauruan and English. This country consists of a single small island and is very, very tiny. In fact, it's the second least populated country and the third smallest country in the world by area. The entire population lives along the coast of this island because it's nearly impossible to walk through the island's interior. In the early 20th century, it was discovered that the island had vast deposits of phosphate formed by the accumulation of bird guano on the rock of the island's interior. So, for almost 100 years, phosphate was heavily extracted, creating large pits for its extraction and leaving behind towering limestone rock formations where there were no deposits left. This has resulted in practically the entire interior of the island being eroded, creating a landscape where walking, farming, and living is nearly impossible. Now that these deposits of phosphate have been depleted, the people of Nauru find themselves without much space to live and without much resources to sustain their livelihoods. The Solomon Islands have their capital in Honiara. Their main language is English. On one of its islands during World War II, the crucial Battle of Guadalcanal took place. The battle allowed the Allies to establish a military base to use as a hub for operations and subsequently reclaim the rest of the islands in the area. Next, Vanuatu has its capital in Port Vila. They speak English, French, and Bislama. This archipelago has a volcanic origin and is home to some of the most spectacular volcanoes in the world, with deep craters where lava crackles and bubbles, creating awesome yet terrifying sights. Fiji has its capital in Suva. They speak English and Fijian. The town of Levuka, a beautiful village combining colonial and native elements, has been declared a World Heritage Site. However, this isn't the only spectacular place on the island. Its beaches and traditional landscapes are so breathtaking that Fiji is world famous and a major tourist destination. Tuvalu has its capital in Funafuti. The official languages are Tuvaluan and English. It is the third least populated country in the entire world. Tuvalu consists of a group of small islands, and its highest mountain measures a whopping size of, wait for it, 5 whole meters. Just so tall. And due to this low-lying nature, these islands are at a significant risk of disappearing with sea level rise, which is why, at the 2021 Climate Conference, the Prime Minister of Tuvalu delivered a speech partially submerged in the sea, showing the world the bleak and alarming future they're facing.
Climate mobility must come to the forefront. We must take bold, alternative action today to secure tomorrow. Faftailasi, Tuvalu Moderno.
Tuvalu is also one of the smallest countries in the world. If you're interested in learning about other tiny yet beautiful countries, I recommend watching our other video on the 10 smallest countries in the world. There you will find even more cool information about Tuvalu and other minute countries throughout the globe. We'll go ahead and put the link at the end of the video for you. Kiribati has its capital in South Tarawa. They speak English and Kiribatis. The highest mountain in Kiribati measures 81 meters, but it's on an island that, like Nauru, has also been ravaged by fertilizer exploitation, so most of the land has been rendered uninhabitable. Most of the islands in Kiribati barely rise only a couple of meters above sea level, making it yet another island country in critical danger from climate change and rising waters. There is something that sets Kiribati apart. Due to the location of its islands, Kiribati has land in all 4 hemispheres on the globe: northern, southern, eastern, and western, and it is the only such country in the world. Samoa has its capital in Apia. Official languages are English and Samoan. Samoa is comprised of 2 main islands. They have a volcanic origin that's clearly visible in the succession of craters that crown the island's peaks. Tonga has its capital in Nuku'alofa. They speak Tongan and English, and it's the only monarchy in Oceania, excluding countries that are considered part of the British Commonwealth. And, just like that, we conclude the review of the sovereign nations of Oceania. That was fast, huh? However, you may have noticed that there are still other territories left unmarked. So, although they're not independent countries, let's indicate who owns them. Here you'll find the Northern Mariana Islands, which belong to the United States, along with Guam, American Samoa, Hawaii, and several other uninhabited atolls. New Caledonia, Wallis and Futuna, and French Polynesia all belong to France. Pitcairn belongs to the United Kingdom. Niue, the Cook Islands, and Tokelau all belong to New Zealand. And all the way over here, Easter Island belongs to Chile. Now, you may be wondering why countries like France, the United Kingdom, or the United States possess islands so far away from their continental territory. Some of these archipelagos, like Hawaii, have full political rights, but others do not. That's why most of them are monitored by the United Nations Decolonization Committee. If you want to learn more about the topic, I recommend watching the video we made about colonial imperialism, where we explain the process of colonization during the 19th century. And finally, after all of these countries, we have come to the end. If you want to continue learning more about geography and history and the nations of our Earth, I suggest giving this video a like, clicking on the notification bell, and subscribing to the channel. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment letting us know your favorite thing that you learned from the video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.